Today, we're talking about something called the boring path to riches. And yeah, I know, boring doesn't sound super exciting, but trust me, this is a path that's refreshingly simple and, most importantly, surprisingly effective. It's not about hype, it's a proven framework. Let's get into it.
All right, so let's start with the big question, right? How do you actually build wealth from zero? Like from the ground up? It's a question we've all asked ourselves, and the answer, well, it's probably not what you're expecting. Okay, first things first, let's clear the air on what this is not about. This has nothing to do with chasing some secret, hot stock tip or falling for one of those get-rich-quick courses you see all over the internet. Nope, we're taking a completely different approach here.
The real path, the one that actually works, it's simple, it's effective, and, dare I say it, it's kind of boring. And you know what? That's exactly why it's so incredibly reliable.
So this whole path is built on what's called the 5-layer boring stack. Think of it like a recipe. It's just a set of behaviors that, when you do them consistently, lead to financial success. Let's break down each layer one by one.
Okay, layer 1. This is the foundation for everything else. You have to know your number. You need a clear, specific target. Seriously, without it, you're just wandering around in the dark.
So, let's just pick a concrete target to work with, $100,000. Having a specific number like that is so crucial. In fact, there's research that shows just having a specific goal can make you 42% more likely to actually hit it. That's huge. Now I know, 100 grand sounds like a massive number, but look at how this breaks down into daily goals. If you want to get there in 3 years, you got to save about $91 a day. Stretch it to 5 years, and that number drops to $55. And if you give yourself 7 years, it's just $39 a day. All of a sudden, that huge mountain looks a lot more climbable, doesn't it?
And this whole idea leads us to a really critical insight from the author Morgan Housel. He says, building wealth has little to do with your income or investment returns and lots to do with your savings rate. And this is especially true when you're starting out.
Let's actually look at the numbers, because this is where it gets really interesting. Let's say you get a totally normal, modest 4.5% return on your investments. You'll hit that 100K in about 6 years. But look at this chart. A whopping 85% of that money comes directly from your own savings. Your contributions are doing all the heavy lifting.
Okay, but what if you're a better investor, right? Let's say you get a great 10% return. You'll get there faster, for sure, in about 5 years. But even then, look at this. Your savings still account for 77% of the total. Your savings rate is still the absolute key player.
All right, let's take it to an extreme. Let's pretend you're pulling in a 20% annual return, which is almost unheard of. Even with those absolutely incredible gains, your savings still make up 60% of that first 100,000. The takeaway here could not be clearer. Getting to that first $100,000 is a savings game, not an investing game. That comes later.
So, now that we've totally established how important saving is, the next logical question is, how do you save more? Well, that often means earning more, and that brings us perfectly to layer 2, becoming irreplaceable.
Look, it all boils down to simple supply and demand. If you have a skill that tons of people can do, there's a lot of competition, and that drives pay down. But if you have a specialized skill, like a top brain surgeon, something that very few people can do, well, you're in high demand and you can command a premium for your work.
So what kind of skills are we talking about? What's future-proof? Well, you've got the skilled trades, right? An AI can't be a plumber or an electrician. But it's also about those uniquely human skills. Things like excellent communication and creative, strategic writing. In an age where AI can write a basic email, genuine human connection and a unique perspective, man, that's becoming incredibly rare and valuable.
This really leads to a tough but absolutely essential question you have to ask yourself. Can a robot do your job? And if the answer is maybe, or even yes, it's time to start building skills that are uniquely, undeniably human.
Earning more is just one side of the coin, though. The other side is mastering your spending, and that's layer 3. Remember, every single dollar you don't spend is a dollar you can put to work for you.
Here are 3 really powerful but simple rules for spending. First up, the 24-hour rule. For any non-essential purchase over, say, $100, just wait a day. You'll be amazed at how often that urgent, I need this now feeling just evaporates. Second, find simple swaps, like brewing your coffee at home. And third, and this is the big one, focus on your biggest expenses first.
In this slide, right here, shows you exactly where to focus your attention.
For most of us, the big three, that's housing, transportation, and food, are by far our largest expenses. Making a small reduction in one of these areas can have a huge impact on your savings rate, way more than skipping your daily latte ever will.
And let's be super clear. The goal here is not to be cheap. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about being deliberate. It's about being intentional with your money and making conscious choices that actually line up with your long-term goals. Okay, so you've got your target. You're working on increasing your income. You're spending with purpose. Now let's make it all effortless. This is Layer 4, Automate Your Success.
You know, James Clear writes about this in his book Atomic Habits. He says the secret is to design our environment so that the right behavior just happens automatically. That's exactly what we're doing here. You automate your savings and investments so you pay yourself first without even having to think about it. It just happens.
All right, we've made it. We're at the fifth and final layer. And this one, well, it doesn't require any special skills at all. But for a lot of people, it's actually the most challenging one.
So what's that final ingredient? It's time. You see, building wealth has a really long feedback loop. Think about it. When you practice a golf swing, you hit the ball and you instantly see the result. But with your finances, the smart choices you make today might not show any real results for months or even years. And this is the exact point where most people get discouraged and quit.
So it's really important to have realistic expectations. That first year, it's going to feel painfully slow, like it's not working at all. But then, around year 3, you'll start to see some small, visible progress. By year 5, that's when compounding really starts to kick in and do its magic. And by year 7, you'll have built up some serious momentum. You just have to trust the process, especially when it feels slow.
And that leaves us with a final, powerful thought. The next 4 to 7 years are going to pass by anyway, no matter what you do. That's a fact. The only question is, where will you be when they're over? Will you have hit that $100,000 goal, or will you be in the exact same spot you are today? The choice, really, is yours.